the scene's responding.
Yeah.
You know, we're not talking about feral, we're talking about dons.
Yeah.
Really jumping on it.
Do you know what it is as well? That's where I feel the connection was lost between me and artists and supporters. And you know, when I spoke about my past and sort of going through recovery and stuff, that genuinely brought out, I just got a bit vulnerable, and that sort of brought a connection between me and people who follow me and people who understood me a little bit more. And I think that was important. So that was the first social side where the social media served me well. So I got a lot of support from that.
Humility,
yeah,
you
yeah,
mean?
humility,
You know?
100%.
Right.
And from there, things just spiraled. And I mean, the work rate is just come from, I want to go, I want to do this, it's happening. And yeah, that's what happened. Within that, though, I did have to humble myself.
Nasty Crew's original Mac 10 in the building.
Yes, how you doing?
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
We were kind of getting into it just before, you know,
Yeah.
do people care about street culture in general, isn't it?
Yeah. I would just feel, you know what, I was having a conversation recently and it was sort of around numbers. You know, everyone's looking at numbers, algorithms and this sort of thing. And it's sad that that's the way, but it's also part of, could it be part of culture now? I don't know. But the question was, do people care about culture? And not do people care about culture, does culture sell?
To sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I believe it does. It's just a niche space. And it shows up in many ways in terms of music, art, fashion. And those niche spaces allow it to be more profitable, arguably. Well, you know, to that small community, to that lane,
multiple lanes, make multiple money.
Yeah, it can become. You see it in streetwear, in fashion, and in sort of arts where it's quite narrow, but if you get it, then you'll be all right. But I feel like a lot of people who do things for culture, money isn't their main motivation.
It isn't, is it?
It's secondary.
What is our motivation, Mac?
The art. The art.
Right?
The art is the motivation. And I believe so it should be. So that's where longevity comes from.
Yeah, it is.
And
integrity.
Connection. Integrity and genuine connection. I believe, anyway, that's my opinion. You know, anything else sort of comes and goes like a fad.
Do you think those fads are perpetuated by the quick response that people have on getting on a social media? Because that line in the sand of a new social media platform almost resets who really did the graft, where the historical fault lines lie. It's almost like, well, if you got on this social media platform fast, then you got the history.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, my thing with that as well, I've got a view on that because I've sort of been through the mill in my own personal experience of being in a particular position in my career, sort of losing that position, and then sort of now sort of having a resurgence. And I feel from my own personal experience that it's my duty to keep up. Do you know what I mean? So I can't sort of look at the culture and say the culture's changing, because that just means I need to evolve too. And still,
it's an excuse, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult because I still want to keep my integrity, but at some point I've got to take a risk, or I've got to evolve a bit, a little. You've got to find. My thing is finding the balance. How can I make this work in my way?
Yeah, that's right. And by God, you're doing it your way, as Frank Sinatra once said. I mean, following on from that very subject, your pace, I think the most impressive thing about what you're up to at the moment with the outdoor DJing pursuits is your work rate. Yeah. The work rate is almost like one of just coming out the traps for the first time in your career. It's incredible. And the scene's responding. Yeah. You know, we're not talking about feral, we're talking about dons. Yeah. Really jumping on it.
Do you know what it is as well? That's where I feel the connection was lost between me an artist and supporters. And you know, when I spoke about my past and sort of going through recovery and stuff, that genuinely brought out. I just got a bit vulnerable, and that sort of brought a connection between me and people who follow me and people who understood me a little bit more. And I think that was important. So that was the first social side where the social media served me well. So I got a lot of support from that.
Humility,
yeah,
you mean?
humility,
you know?
100%.
Right.
And from there, things just spiraled. And I mean, the work rate is just come from, I want to go, I want to do this, it's happening. And yeah, that's what happened. Within that, though, I did have to humble myself in the beginning.
Because you're starting fresh, like...
I started fresh again, and it started from TikTok. Now, for me, my ego, blah, 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 starting a TikTok, that had gone...
Do you know
already.
who I think I am?
Yeah, do you know who I think I am? I like that one. Yeah, exactly. So
we've all been there, bro.
Yeah. I love that one. Do you know who I think I am? Yeah, so it started in my kitchen. I was just in my kitchen and stuff and just DJing on the screen. So looking back, like, the ego had gone, and it just went from there and sort of spiraled.
It's beautiful because, again, that reset, it does teach you some real human lessons in behaviour of yourself, what kind of baggage you have had because of the path you walked.
Yeah.
It's so strange. You don't think, I'm not affected.
Yeah.
But in a weird way, as soon as the ego's faced with something of humility, it's like, oh, okay. All right. Maybe I've gone a bit too far here.
It happens. Yeah.
Do you feel like, on reflection, it's all one big journey? Or are you seeing currently a new mind state for you that compartmentalizes these moments in your history?
In what sense?
Well, so you everything's got this spike of activity through your timeline, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's like, you know, Rinse FM or Radio 1 or these moments of these flagship moments where you say, wow, I'm doing it. Nasty Crews, you know what I mean? Like you and Marcus going at it and just you developing, cultivating a scene, no less, you know what I mean? You know, but these are all like moments. And do you see this as a moment or do you see it all one and the same?
Do you know what? Previously, when I wasn't doing as much, I would look back and say, yeah, there was that moment, this moment, that moment. This year in particular, so much has gone on that sometimes I look back and forget that some things had happened, and that they was even this year. It feels like some of the stuff was ages ago. So, I don't know, I feel I'm just living in the moment at the moment. So I'm not really looking back saying, wow, because I'm still on the journey. I'm hoping I'll stay on it. Do you know what I mean?
It's almost like you never left the fucking train. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. And like I said, the response has been crazy. I mean, you've had some mad guests come through on these cypher sessions that you're doing on your, you know, independently.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Do you know what? The main thing was that, remember we were saying about sort of evolving along with the stuff. What my main thing was as well, what drove me, what I always ever wanted was, all I ever wanted really was eyes on me to see what I can do because I believed in my talent. So I believed, I just want people to see me. I just want people to hear me. That was my main thing. So setting up that stream on my own and just doing that was just a way to do it. And I quickly realised instantly, this interaction is crazy and there wasn't a lot of people watching. It was just, I just built a little small community online that would watch me and do what I do. So that's all I ever wanted, really. So I wanted to build something self-sufficient where I didn't need to rely on anyone. Because, you know, it was like I had to do things you need. There's always an MC, there's always this. I needed a radio station. This became self-sufficient. So once I started doing that, I was always streaming outside on my own. So to have these people come on board, it's just like, wow.
It's cherry on the cake.
It's the cherry on the cake. So I just feel like that's where I would say the accountability side comes in. Go out and do something on your own or just take accountability so that you don't necessarily need to rely on someone or a platform, even though I started on a platform. But if I, in hindsight, if I just started setting up somewhere and doing what I was doing without the camera, it's the same thing.
It's the same effect.
It's the same thing.
On that note, then, tell us about where it all began before this immediate success that this has got you here.
Music-wise.
Yeah.
So, my early days, I was playing garage and stuff. Garage, drum and bass when I was like 14, 15, around 15 years old. And then my brother Marcus, he started Nasty Crew with Sharky and Stormin, and Armour joined at some point later, but then he went away, and he asked me to take over. So I took over as the DJ at that point.
Marcus cites that he learnt off of you.
Yeah, Marcus says he learnt. I taught him to DJ. I did show him how to use turntables. He can mix on vinyls. He's old school like me. You know what I mean? So, and he's my older brother. Just to state that. But so yeah, I did sort of show Marcus, and then he just went off on his own journey. So that's how Nasty Crew started, and then Hyper, DWE joined. Then we moved to Deja, and when we moved to Deja from Flavour FM, Monkey joined, Kano joined, Gets joined, Footsie joined, Jammer joined. Jammer was with us from Flavour, I do believe, but he got more involved when we got to Deja Vu.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What a legacy right there. It's like the who's who. It's like you know, it's the who's who of music, urban music.
Yeah.
That's actually, it's crazy. And that's why you're revered right now in your tenaciousness in doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel I'm just catching up for lost time, so this... Yeah.
Well, so on that note then, explain to me, 'cause I'm dying to ask this question, day in life with Mac 10, please.
Oh,
like, how does this actually work? I want the components.
It's changed. Today's different from, say maybe a couple of months ago. A few months ago, I was up, I was out, I'll be up and I'll just be out, streaming, anytime, any day, any night. I drive around with my equipment in the boot, and I could be going anywhere. I could be going shopping, I could be going somewhere. If I see an opportunity, I'm going to pull over, I'm going to set up my equipment, and I'm going to start streaming. I've done it at 3 in the morning, I've done it at 4 in the morning on the bridges. I've gone out with my missus, like, just out on an evening, and I've ended up stopping on the embankment. I just do stuff like that, and then I capture it, I post it later. Sometimes I've been to Cornwall, I've been all over the place, and I just set up and I stream. So it was, again, it just went back to, let's entertain. I'm an entertainer at the end of the day. I like DJing, I want to entertain people, and I also want to show what I can do. Play new music, get people to hear new music, just being a DJ, basically, what comes with it. So that was what was driving me. So there was a lot of that. And now, since things got busy, there was a few pivotal moments on the stream. One was with DWE, the first one that I did in Shoreditch. Yeah, that one did really well. And I feel like that enticed a lot more artists to get on board with sort of that whole aesthetic of streaming on the street and the content-wise. And so there was that. There was one I did with Chip, his Grime Teen Saviour thing. That, I think, from there, that was a big stream. And also there was an event before that at Carnival with J2K, where he invited me to just come and stream it. It was like
Serious Dons, you know.
Private party,
you know, this isn't his first rodeo. This is some fucking thing. I mean, don't worry, I'll pick the names up later. Keep them coming, man.
No, J2K, big up J2K.
Yeah, big up J2K.
He said, come to his carnival party. He had a private place with a little rooftop terrace, like right in the centre of the carnival, and it was just the who's who was there. And we did a little grime set at the end, and Chip was there, and that was a vibe. Then after that led to the Chip Grime Teen Saviour thing. But what I liked about that is that Chip said, listen, I don't care about the cameras, yeah? Like, just set it up. Because I said, well, let's have it like X, Y, Z. And he said, we don't care about the cameras. He said, just place it. I want you to have it there. But let's just do the vibe.
Do what you guys do.
Yeah, and capture the vibe, basically. And that was important to me, because that was so refreshing to hear at the time, because everything was screened, boom, boom, boom. But really and truly, what I really wanted was that. I just cared about the vibe and the whole just capturing it, no matter what. So if you see that actual content on my actual Instagram, the camera's going over, someone's in front of the camera. Luckily, Chip had people there filming it elsewhere, but on this actual stream, and the people was going mad on the screen still, but someone's in front of the camera, the screen's falling over. It was just, but no one was engrossed in that. No one cared about the cameras. It was the people and the vibe, which is important because we get lost in this other stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some of the best things that you can watch on YouTube, particularly from particular bygone eras, are the ones where they ain't perfect.
Yeah.
And you feel the energy. You're just like, wow, it may not even be the best performance, but it looks incredible, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
You're like a tornado hunter when it comes to this content. It's like you're capturing these moments and you're going all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to thinking that there's got to be some dangerous moments where you've got all this gear and you're in a place where maybe it ain't so such a good idea.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've never looked at it that way, and I just think if something's going to happen, it's going to happen, and it's not like I can't get it again. Do you know what I mean? Nothing like I'd never even anticipate that. So if something gets damaged or whatever, then we can get it again. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I'm doing it, and most of the time I never ever have anything like that. Never. Everyone just enjoys themselves. It's just fun. The people come, they're just like, wow, this is happening. And everyone is in just good spirits. There's never no bad energy, never no trouble, nothing. No, I've had the police stand there and just like, like, oh, you're packing up now? Like, we came to pretend we was getting food because we wanted to stay here. That's happened. Do we get moved? I've been asked to move a few meters up the road. Just like this part here is private property. Just go over there, literally a few meters up the road, and just cross over that line, and then you're all right.
It's like the new form of busking.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Essentially, yeah. Essentially, it is, and my thing is that is working really well, but I have to be a step ahead of what's next. So that's what I'm sort of working with new ideas at the moment, and that's what I'm sort of building in the background. So when I say I slow down, I was streaming every day before. I do it once a week now, and in the background I'm working on other projects.
Because that can run away quite wild, and then before you know it, you're that. I know what you mean. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to elevate it and have additions to what I'm doing, as well as being a DJ now, booking events, downloading music. Everything just gets being able to do things like this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before I'd be outside just constantly.
Yeah.
And it's not. I want to talk a lot more. People to hear my personality. Do a lot more culture stuff.
Like whole content. Yeah, bruv. Like honestly, like it was great showing you around as well. Yeah. We're definitely getting to some other stuff, but the content creating does take a lot of. People don't realise how much it takes. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a time. It's a lot of time, and it takes a lot of time. Especially, imagine sometimes streaming for 4 or 5 hours, and there's so many moments in that, and then you've got to collect them all up, and then distribute them and choose what you want to distribute. And when I'm working with like some artists, and I want to showcase them all. But however, I can't flood my feed, or do you know what was happening before? I was streaming every day, and I would have so many moments that it's just like, damn, like now I can't. Too much for people and you as well.
And it's like that stuff from yesterday is now today's overtaking it. Now where do I go? Do you know what I mean? It's so much. You need Mac 10 clips. Yeah. Actually, that's quite cool for a Mac 10 to have a full clip, you know what I mean? Come on. Yeah, no, it is. So, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but we're getting there, we're working on it. You mentioned rehabilitation? Yeah, rehab. I've been in rehab, I'm in recovery. I had, like, addiction. Was it alcohol? Alcohol and cocaine. Yeah. Yeah, mainly cocaine, but alcohol as well. But how long did it take to recover that? I'm never recovered.
No, you're not.
I'm in recovery. I'm recovery.
Yeah.
Like I'm a recovery.
Life is one big recovery for all
yeah.
of us that were stuck in the early noughties, that's for sure.
Yeah, it never goes away. I mean, I just got to keep working on myself all the time. I mean, when I say it never goes away, I don't use or drink. But in order to stay like that, I've just got to do some maintenance work around.
So how long ago? How long have you been sober?
It's 14 months now.
Oh, congratulations,
yes,
my brother.
yes,
That's
we're getting
fantastic.
there.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's the longest time. I honestly believed that it wasn't possible. I genuinely believed that, and I just accepted that this is who I was. That's who I was. But it's not true. It's a lie. You can change and you can stop. Just need the right information.
I'm going somewhere with this. What was the lowest point?
My lowest point was losing everything. Like, you know what? Not even losing everything externally, losing everything internally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do.
Like, lost myself.
Soul.
Yeah, everything gone. No dignity, no self-respect. All of that. And putting myself in dangerous situations and others. Do you know what I mean? So that sort of stuff. Because I could still have all the external stuff and still feel like that, which is... It doesn't. Just goes to show that no matter what's going on externally, doesn't matter. Because that low wasn't necessarily losing everything, even though I did. It was more the internal stuff that done the damage.
I know it's challenging to talk about this stuff because obviously they are triggers.
Yeah, no.
To talking about shit.
Yeah, no, 100%. But for me, I'm past that. I cannot honestly say. But that's with the work I've done. I mean, I've been to Ibiza. I've go to clubs. Whereas before, I stopped DJing at, I think last year. I stopped DJing. May have been a year, maybe two. I stopped. I said I'm retiring. I'm done because I believed that was why I was doing it. Because every time I went out and I played, I drank, and then when I drank, X, Y, Z happened. So.
And you're thinking to yourself, I can't be a DJ.
Yeah, I can't be a DJ.
I can't function like that if I don't know. Yeah,
broke my heart. Because I knew that how much damage I was causing to myself, and especially to my immediate family. So I thought, like, it's either this music, them or me. Like, do you know what I mean? So I had to do something. I was desperate to not do it. So that one thing that I loved, massive part of my life, which is everything to me, I couldn't do anymore. And I genuinely thought that's why I was doing it. Let me stop that. And this was before rehab and all of that. And then still, it just got worse and worse and worse.
Wow.
And then once I got the education around it, I still, in the rehab, was saying, I can't do it. You don't understand. They're saying, you will be able to, just not yet. And I didn't believe them.
Wow.
I didn't believe them. I was like, no, you don't get it.
Yeah.
But these are people in the rehab with extensive clean time. Who've got experience around this stuff. It's just if I do what I'm supposed to and I carry myself in that way and I mean and I really want it and I don't behave in a certain way, then there's no reason why I would need to do that because I know the harm was waiting for me.
Yeah.
Yeah? So with that being said, they was right. They was right. I've done some things I never thought I'd be able to do clean. Like going Ibiza was crazy.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it was difficult. Don't get me wrong. It was difficult.
No, don't doubt that for a second, man.
It was difficult. I'm not going to lie about that because it was maybe a bit too early for me to go at that point because I went 11 and a half months in. And I was only there for 3 days,
Still
and I'm
really
glad I made it home safe.
Yeah. It wasn't that 2 weeks.
Yeah. So take time. I'm not encouraging that. Take time.
Wow. Oh, man, yeah. Because there's always those significant moments like birthday, Christmas, Halloween, opening of an envelope.
Yeah.
There's always an excuse, right? There's an excuse to get...
Yeah, no, that's the truth, though. Do you know what it is? These... They're real triggers, and do you know what? That's always the first worry when getting clean. It's like, oh, Chris, I went rehab twice. The first time I messed up, I come out of there, I messed up 6 months in because I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening, and I was doing things my way, not the way. Yeah, there's a different way of doing things. So if the minute I start thinking that I can do it my way, I'm in trouble. Yeah. Because I'm not doing what's suggested.
See, this is where you're all going wrong, you see.
Yeah. Because there's a way to stay clean, and there's sort of ways of, from my other experienced people within this field, that will guide you. Like I have a sponsor and stuff, let's just say.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So,
yeah, wicked.
Yeah, so without doing what I'm suggesting, I'm going to rev off a bit. So, trailer thought again.
Yeah.
What was it?
What
was I saying?
Yeah, you were veering off. I was in the back of the car, like, all right, we're going.
I knew that a lot. Sorry. You know what was funny? I was the most quiet person before. I wouldn't speak, nothing. I was so shy. I believed I was shy. The minute I got clean, it's like, oh, who is this person?
Yeah.
I'm learning myself again. So
that's incredible. And there is the reason why I even brought up, swinging into this kind of conversation is because when you also, you fill your head with so much negativity when you've got an addiction. You almost, everything you do circulates around that thing. But when that thing goes, it's almost like you unlock a whole new runway.
Yeah.
And you move faster with what you're doing. And I don't know, maybe it's testament to your clarity, but it does feel like the last 18 months, 2 years of Mac 10 it's been like you drove it like you stole it.
Yeah. No, do you know what it is? I've always had that drive and that passion, but that one thing was always holding me back because, I did used to feel a lot of shame, guilt and embarrassment around what I was doing because I found it difficult to take praise then because I knew what I was like really at home and I knew what things I was getting up to. So I couldn't have this conversation as open with you before when I was in active addiction because I probably wouldn't even be able to look you in the face because I'd feel so much shame of someone saying, oh yeah, Mac 10 or whatever. And I'm thinking, yeah, but you don't know. And my dealer probably knows who I am. My friends probably know who I am. My missus knows who I really am. So you praising me, that's where my thinking would go. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm not this person. And there's people who know the real me. So now,
it's blessed.
It is what it is. So.
Yeah. So, more audible presentation, hosting, Mac 10 presents.
Yeah.
So more of that?
Yeah, 100%.
Wicked.
And we're trying to bring this here.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know when this is coming out, but we're
bringing it, baby. We're bringing it. We're bringing it. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. I can see that. I can see they're really... And it's a lane that no one can touch you on. The roads are clear. There's no competitors.
Yeah,
because it's a competitive game out there.
It is competitive. It is competitive, and that's why it's about again building something where you can be sustainable. I'm not saying alone because I always need people, and especially the people who support me. People like yourself as well inviting me here. So I'm always gonna have to work with people. But when I say build something that's a bit self-sufficient, like what you're doing now, you've got your podcast, you're building something around what you're doing. So it's important instead of saying, or for instance, someone saying, "Oh, can I come on your podcast? Can I come on your podcast?" And instead of going, or can I come on your show, Mac? Can I? Go and create something, and where people want to come to you and say, "You're doing something. Let's do this. Let's combine what we're doing. Let's collab instead of can I?"
100%.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Because if you create the bird box, the birds will come.
Exactly. So it's really important when I say self-sufficient. I just feel like that's maybe the mindset what is helped me. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe for me that's what works.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So lastly, my question to you, which is this is going to be an open-ended one. Yeah. Whether we'll get the truth out of this man, we don't know. What's the future? What is the future? Yeah. You've suggested that things are happening.
Things are happening, just different styles of content. I'm delving into fashion as well.
Brilliant.
I've got some collabs with some brands. And I'm just sort of widening the horizons of what I'm doing, and the music is the umbrella.
Listen, my brother, it's been an absolute pleasure
Thank you.
having you on, my guy.
Respect.
More power than Mac 10. Killa Kela out, Street Culture Podcast, more next week. You take it easy, people. Don't talk to her, I wouldn't. Crime don't pay, but neither do they. Easy.